Around is a little bit. I started out my real estate career dialing 15 hours a day. So I have a heavy call background, calling on at 8 a.m. on the East Coast to 8 p.m. on the West Coast. And we started diving deep into the content aspect. I realized this one thing. When I'm calling people and they have no idea who we are, I can read them their social security number. And they still say they didn't fill out that form. When we were dialing for some of those clients who had a strong personal brand, who had a strong social media presence, every lead was like a referral. And then all of a sudden we teamed up with my man Sekou. What's going on, Sekou?
Brother, let's go. I'm gonna go ahead all the way ahead of time.
Okay.
And apologize. I am day 4 in I'm COVID-19 positive. I'm beating my way through this. So I'm showing up for you guys with a head full of buzzing bees and my throat is on fire. We're gonna rock and roll together.
Sekou shows up, one of our core values. Well, Sekou, with your background in calling, why don't you tell us a little bit about content and calling and what that meant to you when we first came up with this concept?
So let's take us back, right? Let's take us back a few years before this pandemic hit us and stuff like that. I am dyed in the will, tried and true, pick up the phone and dial. No matter what happens in your business, no matter what happens in your life, there's nothing that a little bit of lead generation can't solve. That's the way I think. That's the way I believe. It's part of my very essence. And if you had told me a few years ago that, there were some alternatives to picking up the telephone, things to add to your arsenal, I would have quite literally spit at your feet exactly the way that Mike Ferry did. Thank you, T. But then I meet, COVID happens and the world shuts down and what have you. And I meet this kid, Nick Krem, man. And Nick is like, you got to build some content. You got to do this. You got to do that. And I'm like, content. That's for kids, man. They're gonna be putting content on the internet, and the only idiots are gonna be watching that content anyway, right? And then we spend the next 3 years TikToking and watching content and building our whole lives around what other people are doing. And I found out that what Nick was saying was not only was it true, but it had been true for a while, right? And Nick, I've never used this phrase with you before, but I've used it because of you.
I like it.
The internet, the social media platforms are like a Super Bowl commercial that's running 24/7, 365.
Yep.
And if you had the chance to do a Super Bowl commercial for free, would you do one? I don't care if you're not a fan of the game. I don't care if you're not a producer. I don't care what. If I gave you the chance to do a Super Bowl commercial for free, would you do one? Hell yes, you would do one. And you'd be clever and funny, and you'd figure out something to put in front of the folks that would have an impact, like the damn Doritos commercial, or the most famous Super Bowl commercial in the world is Wasa. And so what I discovered with Nick was that us, have more influence in the world than just about anybody else. And we have the opportunity to present it 24/7, 365 with a little bit of content. And that content can be as real as picking up the phone and calling. So Nick came to me because I was dialing in front of people on the internet, right? I would pick up the phone and I would do my calling sessions live for 3 hours every Wednesday.
Every single week.
2,000 contacts every Wednesday. Am I right?
Yep. 2,000 contacts. What was it? You went for 10,000 the one day, didn't you?
So we had a 10,000 contact on the first day of the year of 2020. So it was January 1st, 2020, which was also a Wednesday, right? And so I would do my 2,000 contact Wednesday. So we did 10,000 contact Wednesday, and we made 13,000 contacts that day. We set up over $1.5 million worth of business with one day's worth of work. And when I say $1.5 million worth of business, I'm one of those coaches that are not thinking of the volume that's going to the company. I'm thinking about the commissions that are coming to the agents. So we set up a 7-figure salary for every agent that was involved. And it was absolutely amazing. And what the revelation was for me there was that the contacts that we were making were only as valuable as the engagement that they brought with them.
Mm.
And so the contacts engaging with the content that we had multiplied the effectiveness of the entire process. So, and the last little part of my little opening spiel here is that every day I make 200 contacts a day, no matter what. No matter what, I make 200 contacts a day. And only 100 of those 200 contacts are done by phone. Everything else is done by content creation, text, and video. And
Man,
it's only
so
because of my man, Nikki.
well, I'll tell you what, I think that's where I really hit it off with you. Cause being from the phone myself, when I saw you on the phone for 3 hours straight on a live, just tearing it up, I'm like, man, this guy knows what's going on. He knows his stuff really well, right? And getting into it too, I think we had some people asking some questions about what do you classify as a contact? Like, what
I
are
have
some of the different ways for you to get in contact with people? Because a lot of times when we hear that, we just think dialing. But there are
nah.
so many different avenues, especially with these social media platforms, to get contacts every single day. So, what are some of the ways that you define a contact that you do to make sure that you hit your 200 contacts every single day?
All right. So it's simple, and this will actually answer Colby's question as well. It's a simple thing. There's 5 different type of contacts. Number 1 is the face-to-face, and it is the most common contact you guys are doing. You're already doing it. Everybody that you see or speak to that is an adult, living, breathing human is a contact. Okay. So by telephone, door knocking, that passing them in the supermarket and saying hello, and they go both ways. Those are all contacts. For the purposes of lead gen, however, I say it like this: if you door knock, if you speak on the telephone, FaceTime, WhatsApp, any type of two-way interface where you're speaking and they're speaking in return is a contact, as long as you speak the same language
Mm.
and they're an adult that you can talk to. Okay. I don't count children only because those are interesting conversations, but they're a little creepy and they probably don't lead to anything, right?
Yeah.
And I don't count it when I'm having a conversation that even if I have to have a translator or something like that, we're not on a plausible level unless I speak the other language fluently. I don't count that language as well because we're really not having a two-way conversation.
And
The
you know what?
telephone, FaceTime, et cetera, et cetera.
What
The
I
next
love the
thing is,
go,
I'm
go, go.
listening,
Yeah, no. Go ahead. You still got a couple more contacts to cover.
right? So the next kind of contact is the text message. Text message, instant message, direct message, drop into the DMs, whatever it goes. If you send the text message and they respond, any response they give is a contact.
Hmm.
Same rules apply, though. It has to be an adult, living, breathing human, right? It can't be a robot. It can't be an answer machine or anything like that. Okay. If the dog answers the phone, call WB, don't call me, right? The third kind of contact, and this is where content comes like full circle, y'all, is the live broadcast. So live broadcast in actuality is probably the most powerful contact you can make in the series of contacts, in the sense that people are choosing to tune into what you are saying. People are turning towards your message. And somehow or another, if it's said on television or if it's said on video, it's got to be true. So, if you are doing a live broadcast specifically, if you're doing a live broadcast and you have people that are watching your live broadcast, it becomes a contact when, ready, you acknowledge that they're watching. Right. So if we're doing a live broadcast and Nick joins it, I'm like, oh, it's my man Nick. Oh no, it's such and such. Is he in Florida, Ohio this week? Oh, la la la. Like that's when it becomes a contact. Ray Lopez, what up, big Ray? I see you. When you acknowledge the people that are watching your broadcast, they become contacts. I make several dozen contacts when I do a live broadcast. And I'm conscious, especially because of Nick, I'm conscious of when people join and how to acknowledge them when they join. The third one is any other type of social media post you do, any other kind of content you do, with video being at the top, all the way down to the meme, which Nick hates. Don't do memes with
No,
Nick. Right?
let me just clarify this. I hate the memes that like the memes that when real estate posts them, like, oh, the hard life of being a real estate agent, when it shows them going out and like doing all these hard things, and it makes people think we hate our job. It makes people think we hate being a real estate agent. I see real estate agents post these memes all the time, and it's like, dude, keep that in the Facebook groups. What was that? Real estate happy hour. Those things should never leave that group. We have to remember, people. If I'm working with Sekou and he posts a meme about how his clients are always calling him, they're annoying him, doing all these things, and I'm working with him, I'm gonna think he's talking about me. So when I'm talking about memes, those are the memes I'm talking about. Don't post about how bad real estate is, how you have no time, how you never sleep. Nobody wants to work with somebody like that.
Oh man, I tell you what, man. What's really funny is that. So, just full disclosure, I am quarantined in my room, right? And so I would normally be out in like a bright, shiny, sunny space doing this broadcast with you.
Yeah.
I'm quarantined in my room, and we were on a call. I was on a call yesterday. Yes, I'm still working while I'm here. You know, I can't infect people over the phone, right? So I was on a call yesterday, and the guy was just like, these guys are really bugging me out, man. They're all closed up in some room, quarantined away from society, and they're calling people. And I was like, he's talking about me. So yes, when you do those memes, man, people take things personally on the net in a way that is immeasurable and invaluable. So this is the pattern that makes a social media contact. You ready? You make a post, any type of post, like I said, video being at the top, memes being at the bottom. They like and or comment, and then you reply to their like and or comment. So Ray puts up a picture of a American Eagle. Somebody is like, oh, that looks so cute. Ray then responds, I know, right? Look at the feathers, right? Like it has to have that pattern in order for it to do. If Denny puts up a post and the post is controversial, let's say Denny puts up a post that says that Chicago pizza is better than New York pizza. That's a freaking fallacy, right? It's controversial. And somebody comments on it and is like, Denny, man, your eyeballs should pop out of your head for doing that. And he doesn't want to reply on his post there. If he drops into the DMs, that's still a contact. Does that make sense, y'all? So it's post, like, and or comment, reply, that's a contact. And then last but not least on my contact sheet is all of those inbound leads that you're getting, right? I get about 150 inbound leads to my KB Core every single week. All of those things that you do, none of those are contacts until you reach out and touch them, text, call, et cetera, et cetera. Does that make sense?
And I just want to break something down really quick too. It's, so sometimes I know some people might be thinking like, man, responding to a comment, like, is that the best use of my time? Or like making sure that we get on there and respond to each person. But just think about this, guys. I will guarantee this. Everybody here has someone on their social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, that they've never met before. They don't even know how they became friends on Facebook, but they're there. But you see them post a lot. You see what they're doing in their lives. And we get to know these individuals. We start to build rapport over the phone, over the computer, through social media. Responding on comments, staying in front of people. Number one, it helps you with the algorithm. So you'll keep popping up in their timelines. But you start forming a virtual relationship. You start forming the groundwork for what a relationship can be. And like Sekou was saying too, as far as the leads that you have coming in. So I want to dive into a concept that we came up with here. So every lead, every single day when we hang up the phone, we always do this one thing. What we realized is when we would set up appointments, we had a 25% higher conversion rate across the board. We are running this system in all 50 states, and it just crushed it every time we did it. So here's what you guys do. Every time you hang up the phone with somebody, every single time you hang up the phone with somebody you've never met in person, or it's your first call with them, here's what you do. Pull out your phone and shoot a video message. And there are two things you do in this video message. The first is always, 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 always say their first name in it. Why? Because if you don't say their first name and you send them a video, you're actually going to lose rapport. Because they're gonna think, oh man, this is a sales video. Everybody gets this. Here comes Sekou the salesman. But the moment you say their name, they know that video was just for them. You make them feel special. And here's the second thing. Never, ever, 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 ever watch the video before you send it. If you watch the video before you send it, you're going to shoot that bad boy like 20 different times. It's going to take you a half hour to shoot a 20-second video. It really does not matter what you say in the video. As long as you say their name, you say, hey, Sekou, it was great talking to you today. I just want to let you know if you have any more questions in real estate, I'm your guy. Send. Hey, Sekou, it was great talking to you today. I'm going to be stopping by tomorrow, like we discussed, at 2:00. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Send. Every single time. We call this name the puppy.
Name the puppy, baby.
Here's why. If you don't plan on keeping a puppy, don't name it. Because the moment you name it, it becomes part of the family and you can't get rid of it, right? Here's the thing. If you guys are getting leads from any source, do you believe you're the only real estate agent calling them? Sorry, if you believe you're the only one, that's a little naive. But here's what I know. Here's what would happen when we go on appointments. 10 other realtors are going over there on an appointment. I imagine this conversation that's going on in the homes. Like, honey, who's coming over tomorrow? I don't know. We got a couple of appointments set up, but my man Sekou's coming over at 2:00. We had people that never met these individuals before have the door open with cookies waiting for our realtors. Why? That video message really sets you apart. They feel like they know you and they're excited for you to come over. You want to start turning every lead into a warm referral? Start doing a personal video message.
Nick, brother, when I tell you that I have good stuff for you guys today, when I tell you that I got good content and call stuff for you today, I'm going to tell you what I've been doing for the last, for the last year now. But realistically, the last 6 months have been hardcore.
Yeah.
So I've taken the name the puppy. And I've called it the name the big dog, right? Because we're going to name the big dog when I'm setting up appointments with folks. I'm going to go out and preview the property. And then I'm going to do the video and I'm naming them in the video and tagging them in the video on Facebook or social media. So the way it looks now is like, hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Sekou. Listen, I'm about to go preview this property for a client of mine, Tegan. She's looking for this, that, and the other thing over here in the such and such section of such and such. But you know what? The best people to evaluate the property with me is you. So why don't you guys walk with me through the property and see what you see, and maybe it'll cause some questions for Tegan.
So just to clarify, you're already going to walk through the property.
Yes, sir.
You're already there. So you're doing your regular real estate activities.
Yes, sir.
But instead of just walking through it, you're bringing out your phone and you're going live and walking everybody through it.
Yes, sir. When I tell you that I've had 600, 700, and 800 people watching and making comments for the person that I'm previewing the property for. So when I do meet with the person and we do walk through the property ourselves, their laundry list of things that they are looking for and attached to already is set in stone. They bought the place before we've even gone to the place. We're putting in offers, not necessarily sight unseen because we're seeing the property. And I'll be honest with you, seeing it in 4K with zoom capabilities and rewind capabilities and pause capabilities is actually superior than seeing it in real life when you're just sort of breezing through the property and walking through. So every time we see the property in what I call physical space rather than virtual space, it's always a second showing. So my claim to fame with any buyer that I'm walking through a property is second showings only. And I'm going to tell you right now, it has been outrageously successful because that person is putting in an offer. And because of you, my brother, because of you and the calendar link and the claim to, and the call to action, what I say now check this out, Ray. This is awesome, right? So what I say now is that, hey, listen, and as always, if you want to see a property like this, or if you want me to preview a property for you, click the calendar link and we'll do a consultation and figure out where you want to be. My friends are going in and clicking that link and setting up appointments for me to go preview properties for them.
So
I haven't taken the listing yet. I'm not worried about that. What winds up happening is that if I have an 88% conversion rate when I go on the appointment. So if I haven't taken the listing yet and I'm previewing the property and putting it out there, I'm getting consent from them to at least walk through and show the property. I start with properties. And it's a great question that you're asking. I don't necessarily start on the MLS. I start with my circle prospects. So I start with a property that's off market. Then I'll do any FSBO expireds, and then I'll go to the MLS. If I'm at the MLS, usually I'm not even at the property. I'll just click through pictures on my own website. I hope that makes sense. So I'll preview with pictures, with commentary from my friends, other realtors, other financiers, and I haven't even left my desk yet, right? I haven't left my house.
And something that you were talking about too is having that call to action in the comments and said in your video.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I see this mistake happen. Realtors, man, I'll tell you what, having a call to action is absolutely crucial if you want to convert on social media. I like to say, people who go on social media are like children. Why? Because people who go on social media are lazy and bored. Lazy and bored people don't really want to take a lot of action. So even if somebody likes the house, even if somebody likes one of your posts, and it is not so freaking simple to know exactly how to reach out to you, how to get a hold of you, they're not going to do it. So that's why I say, what he started to do is every single video. Hey guys, if you want to get more information, click the link below and schedule. Telling people exactly what to do in order to be able to reach out to you and get a hold of you. Saying it in the video and putting it in the comments every single time.
I have 3 call to actions on every video minimum. Number 1, there's the link to the property that I'm showing. Right? I'll go into my KV Core or whatever system you're using, and I'll grab the link and I'll put that into the post. The second link that I put up there is my Calendly link, right? It's Facebook Live. Yeah, it's my Calendly link. And I always say this. So this is exactly what Nick said. And I'll do it with a little bit of flavor, especially since it's on my personal page. I'll be like, hey, I'm showing Chandra, I'm showing this property, I'm walking through this property for Chandra, but you guys are the best people to help me evaluate value. So if you see something, don't forget to comment or, such and such and such, and we'll address it. And if you want to see something like this, or you want me to preview a property for you, click my Calendly link. I'll make time. So I'm always going to tell them that I'll make time for them. I'm never too busy for them. That's the number one thing that I get from my friends and family. Like, you look too busy. I didn't want to disturb you or anything like that. So I'm inviting them to disturb me. I'm inviting them to take up more time. And then the third link that I put in there is when I say stuff like, and if you want to see how much home you can buy, if you wanted to buy a house, then you click on this link, and it's a link to either the calendar link to my lender that I've already pre-selected, or some sort of financier.
And Sekou, I know you could talk about this subject probably for the entire hour, but let's give them the Cliff Notes version of this. Something that you hang your hat on, and I know you've helped so many agents do, is how to get a deal a day.
Yes, man.
So talk to me a little about how to get a deal a day utilizing the content and calling method.
So it's actually absurdly simple, and it's crazy that we don't do it. First and foremost is I follow a simple pattern every single day, and it's a pattern of three. It's who are my top three clients, or who are my top three prospects? What are they looking for? And how do I help them write a contract today? So that's the framework of what I'm about to break down for you. Who are my top three prospects? What are they looking for? And how do I help them write a contract today? Those are the questions that I ask my business. Assuming that you're in one of the top three slots, assuming that you are a person that is identified as one of my most motivated prospects, I then follow this pattern. A number one is I only look in the spaces that you're looking for. So if Cindy was, let's say she was looking for a 7-bedroom, palatial mansion, right? I would then narrow that down to almost a block or a lot, right? Like I would narrow it down to an address almost that she was looking for. And then I would do the following pattern. I would call that property, the 20 properties across the street, and the 10 properties on either side, right? And so I'm going to narrow down the search, right? I'm going to narrow down the search for Cindy to a specific location. And then I'm going to use my content creation, right? I'm going to door knock, right? So check this out, content and contacts. I'm going to call, door knock, and preview the properties in that community, both on and off the market. I'm going to show the property to Cindy and anyone else like her that fits into that demographic, right? Because I'm going to show the property to her. I'm going to do it live. I'm going to invite other people to be a part of it. I'm then going to ask Cindy to put in an offer on the property before we leave. Even if she's not there, even if she's in Montana, right? And I'm showing in Alpine, New Jersey, I'm going to ask her to put in an offer. I'm going to challenge her, right? Challenge her to take the property off the market. And if she doesn't, I'm going to ask her to justify why not. Does that make sense, y'all? All right. So simple process. Ready? I'm going to make sure that she's motivated. I'm going to make sure that whoever it is motivated. Aaron, Cindy, Tony, whoever has to be motivated for me to go out and see them, either seller or buyer, right? When I go to the property, I begin by, excuse me, I begin by turning on the camera even for the presentation, y'all. So let's say I go to Tegan's house and she's a possible listing. I turn on the camera, put it over there by Tegan, and say, hey, listen, I'm going to do this presentation. I'm recording this for my such and such, or blah, 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 right? At my team, my whatever, et cetera, et cetera. But more importantly, I'd like for you to have this recording when I leave. So if you have any other questions, you can go over it again. There's a different dynamic that happens when there's a camera on, right? People get into performance mode and they put their best foot forward, right? I do my presentation, either buyer or seller presentation. And at the end of my presentation, and this is key to getting a contract today, I ask for the damn contract. Right. So if I'm doing a showing, and I literally do this every single time I do a showing, even virtually, I get to the space. We walk through the space. I don't show them the space. I ask them to show me the space. So I ask them, I'd be like, Michael, we're here. You could be living here for the next 35 years. I don't know. So why don't you walk me around and show me what you would do with the space? Even if we're doing it virtually, right? We're looking at pictures. What would you do with the space? We walk through the space. We get to the end of the space. And I'm like, Mike, how would you rate this place on a scale of 1 to 10? He's going to give me a number.
Yeah.
Usually between 7 and 10. They don't usually, because I'm only going to show the best properties on the market anyway, right? So, right, usually give me a number between 7 and 10. If it's below 10, I say, what would make it a 10? right, Sandra? Okay, it's a 7. Okay, that's great. What would make it a 10? She says, well, if it looks like it's a little dark, if it had a little bit more light, such and such and such. I'm like, okay, how much is that worth to you? What do you mean? Well, like, if you had to buy this at this particular in this particular condition, what would you discount it at, or what would you buy? What would you offer for it? If they, let's say they were asking $1 million for it, she says, well, I would only offer 900 for this. 900. Would you like to see if they'd accept 900,000? See, most agents don't go there. All right, Big Mike. Yeah, right. And so, would you like to see if they'd accept 900,000? Do you think they would? I don't know. Let's give it a shot. What's the worst they could say? And so I'll put the offer together right then and there before we leave the place. And then I say, so this is the best one on the market. Do you want to go see the number 2 spot, or do you want to see what they say about this? 9 out of 10 times, they're like, well, let's see what they say about this. Even if they say, let's go see the next spot, we could do one of two things. We could either go see it virtually, or we could take the trip and go see it in person. And I'm going to do the exact same process again. Let them show me the process, let them show me the space, scale of 1 to 10, et cetera, et cetera. 9 out of 10 times, listen to me carefully, y'all. 9 out of 10 times, I get an offer and acceptance within the first 2 showings of any properties that I do, including, check this out, the virtual showings. Because I ask for offers at virtual showings, I actually get offers before we go out and see the place physically. There's 2 elements that are new to me right now that are I don't have the data behind it. I can only tell you anecdotally what has happened to me in the last year.
Yeah.
Because we're going to see it virtually, we're usually the first people to see it. Right? So there's a physical or temporal limitation to waiting till the weekend to seeing something, and at 11:30 at night getting on a call with somebody in California looking at a property virtually, getting professional opinions on it, and then them putting in an offer on the place. I've done an appointment to go see the place in whatever fashion the agent has asked me to do the appointment. I've clicked through the property, I've asked the right questions, I follow the instructions, and put in an offer, usually before they even had the first person walk through the door. And I'll tell you now, it has a huge impact on the psyche of the person that's making the offer, because then they're more willing to do multiple bids. It has a huge impact on the person that's receiving the offer, because we're doing this quite literally before everyone else. The only danger that I have is that if it's Thursday and there's an open house on Sunday, a lot of times they'll try to wait until the open house on Sunday before they accept the offer. I don't mind that either, because we still saw it, we put in the offer, and we're still in a better position. Do you add a contingency of an actual walkthrough? 9 out of 10 times, yeah, Doreen. So on my contracts in California, my contracts in New Jersey, there is a contingency built in around physical inspection, that it has to pass the physical inspection. And usually it has something to do with environmental or any kind of physical misrepresentation, right? If the doorknobs are loose, you can't see that from a photo. So the physical inspection would say, you guys have to repair that. But yes, 9 out of 10 times. Once you schedule a showing, do you ask the listing agent for permission to video? Not normally, Larry. There may be some scenarios where I ask the video, like if the place is occupied and there's a certain level of tendency that I might ask for permission to video, but for the most part, no, I don't ask. I'm just showing I'm literally just showing my people the property.
And what I think is one of the most literally severely underutilized tools that we have. I don't know about you guys, but I like residual money. I like residual content. Figuring out how to use that one piece of content and use it in multiple different places. I'm telling you, every time you do a showing, you go live on Facebook, great. That baby is going out to my entire email list. Everybody who's
That's
on
the second step.
That's the second step. And guys, don't go try and download the video, send it in an email. Number one, if you're sending bombs or any of those kind of videos that send the entire video in an email, guys, those videos are really heavy. There's a good chance they're going to spam. All you need to do is include your Facebook link. Whatever you wrote in the description, just talk about the house, what you were doing there, what you're excited for, and include the Facebook link into your email campaign. I'll tell you what, right now, I've seen the back end of damn near every CRM. If you're in number one, if you're not using drip campaigns, you should be. But if you're only utilizing the drip campaigns that are available there, you're going to freaking lose. They're the most basic emails in the world. Nobody reads them and they're not that great of information. You have no differentiating factors whatsoever. Every time you go live, send out an update to your email list. What that will also do is people from your email list that click it, if they're not following you on whatever platform you send it to, they can start following you there. It's a great way to start converting some of those people from the email list to social media and vice versa.
So Nick, let me accentuate what you're saying just for a second and deal with the act of permission for videos and things like that. I don't care what MLS you're a part of. If you're a part of the MLS, you have the right to show the property. Am I correct? Right. And so if my client is in Japan and wants to see a property where I'm at in whatever town, USA, the only way I could show that client in Japan is to literally walk through the property with a video camera, correct?
Yeah.
And so I am just showing this property to every buyer I have. That's it. I'm not publishing this for commercial interests. I'm not marketing the property. I'm not doing anything. All I'm doing, I'm setting an appointment to show this property to every buyer I have. And I just do it on my social CRM. The Facebook link becomes a way to share that video congruently along any platform. There's nobody that's restricted from seeing that video. And I take that link and I literally send that link to every single buyer that I've ever talked to in my entire universe. So I am standing in my truth when I say to a buyer or a seller, and specifically for listings, when I say, hey, Steven, listen, I send a list of properties to every buyer I have every single day. Would you like me to include your property on that list? I literally do that daily. There's thousands of people who walk through my properties with me. Would you like to expose it to them?
And I'll tell you what, mixed in the calling aspect of this too. When you send that live updated video, it gives you a reason to reach out to people. Hey, Sekou, I'm just calling because I just did a virtual walkthrough of this house. Did you get it?
Hey.
Oh man, I walked this house over here, and you just talked about what you were doing on the video. One of the hardest things sometimes is having a reason to follow up with people. Right? Hey, I'm calling. Are you ready? Are you ready to buy yet? Are you ready? Are you good to go? No? All right. I'll call back in a month. All right. Sound good? No. I'm calling because I just sent you a video. We did a live update of this house down the street. It was great. Did you see it? Oh man, just go ahead. Is this a good email for you? And it gives you a reason to follow up. It gives you a reason to be excited because you just showed this great property.
And if you follow Nick's pattern and say their name,
yes,
in the damn video, now it's customized. You cannot get more Super Bowl commercial than that. If you did a Super Bowl commercial and said Tegan's name in the damn Super Bowl commercial, she'd be like, I'm buying that product today.
And, I think it's important for us to realize really what social media has turned into. So what I want everybody to do right now is pull out your phone. If you're on your phone, you guys can scroll away for a second. Go to your phone and open up your Facebook page, your personal Facebook page. And here's what I want you guys to do. So you open up your Facebook and you went to your profile. Solely based on what you see right there on your profile, based on nothing else but what you see, would you hire you? Would you hire you? This is your resume, guys. This is where people go to say, are they legit? Well, let's see what this person's really about. You just called someone. What are they doing? When people look up an individual, they go to Facebook and Instagram. They don't really Google individuals. You go to Facebook and Instagram. Let's figure out who this person is. Would you hire you? This is your resume, and this is what people will base their opinion on. Some people are like, hell yeah, I'd hire me. Good for you. That's great. This is where people are going. This is why some people don't call you back. I hate to break it to you. This is why when you go to dial them again, they're not calling you back because they went there and they're like, man, this person, they're not even active. They don't see them on here. Would you hire you? And there's another concept I want to cover because this is single-handedly the biggest mistake I see realtors do on social media, bar none. So it was about 5 years ago, I was sitting down with this Zillow rep. And I made it my goal to, like get him drinking a little bit. I wanted to get some of the tea. I wanted to spill some, right? And he did. And he started talking about, he's like, Sekou. And he's like, so he was talking to me. He's like, so Nick, he's like, do you know like how many realtors are just driving our business and just handing us over business every single day? And Sekou, when I say that, how do you think like most realtors support Zillow on these other places?
Oh, I know how most realtors, they pay them tons and tons of money, and they also supply all the listings and they supply all of the damn buyers.
So get this. Here's how they really do it. And that's what I said. I'm like, oh, yeah, because everyone's buying their leads. He's like, yeah, but there's a reason everyone's going to us. So here's what happens. Every time we list a home or help somebody buy a home, what do? We're trained to post a picture, post the specs of the home, just bought, just sold. And that's what we see all the time from realtors. You know what we're training people to do, Sekou? We are training people that the home is the most important part of that deal. Here's what people think of a real estate agent. Post a picture of a home just listed, a week later, just sold. Dude, that was easy. All they see are 2 pictures.
That's it.
And every time you just post just listed, just sold, or just bought, and just the specs of the home, you are training people that the home is the most important part of the deal. And you can pick an agent out of a hat. What is Zillow and Realtor.com and all these places' business model? Find a home and pick an agent out of a hat. Stop posting just pictures of homes with the specs on it. Instead, do this. I'm telling you, you will have people calling you. You will have people bending over, just trying to come, bending over backwards just to get you on the phone. Every time you help somebody move into a home, stand in front of the home, go live, and tell people what you had to do in order to get this family in here. Tell people the late hours you had to work, how many calls you had to take. Tell people the reality of this situation. When you frame it like this, ooh, it could be massive. Hey guys, I just want you to know there were multiple other families or multiple other people who made an offer on this property. There were 5 other people who had an offer on this property. What that means is 5 other people saw their kids maybe growing up in the backyard, saw their kids going to this school, growing up down the street. They're already picking out which bedroom was which. But the reality is only 1 family got in. Here's what I had to do to make sure my family got in. And I would do it all over again because I love doing this. I had to stay up till midnight making sure the offers were going through. I had to do this call, and tell people what you actually had to do as an agent. I think this is one of the biggest places that we just miss. Value unarticulated is value unappreciated. Why are most agents unappreciated? Because people don't know what you actually do. I firmly believe if you get in front of a home and tell people what you had to do to sell this house, the long hours, the calls past 10 o'clock, there will be less FSBOs out there. There will be less for sale by owners. Because if I watch that video, I'm like, I don't want to do that. I thought I just had to post a picture online, and that's how easy it is, right? No. Start taking every opportunity that you have. Every time you help somebody move into a home or sell a home, go live and tell people what you did and say it with a smile. Don't be like, man, I had to stay up till midnight to sell this bad boy, man. I'll tell you what. No, say it with a smile. Be enthusiastic. Show people you love what you do. And one of the coolest things with that is, guess what happens? Take that video and send it out to all your past database, all the leads that just came in. Follow up with a phone call. Hey, we just helped a family move into this property with 5 other offers. Are you still looking? It's a reason to follow up. Even more importantly, guess what? After a year of doing this, heck, after 2 months of doing this, you start building testimonials. Is it you talking about it? Yes, but it's still a testimonial for your work. And here's what I'll say. There's nothing more powerful besides an in-person testimonial than a video testimonial. Residual content. You can keep using those pieces of content and sending them out over and over again to your list. Somebody comes into your buyer campaign. Great. Let's get it. Let's show you what I did with the last 3 buyers. I beat out 7 other offers last 3 times. Go ahead and check it out.
Nick, there's 3 words that come to mind as you speak about this. And I got this over the summer. Okay. It's demographic, psychographic, geographic. Demographic, who are you talking to? Psychographic, what are they thinking about? What are they talking about? Geographic, where are they congregating? Now, geographic does not necessarily mean Cleveland or Chicago or Milwaukee. Geographic could be Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Where are they congregating? So if demographic is your prospects, your prospective clients, right? And you have your avatar around who they are and how they sound and what they talk about. If psychographic becomes strong in your mind, the funny thing is we think they want to talk to realtors about properties. The reality is they want to talk about properties with professionals. Right. And so you got to give them what they want, not what you think they need. And if they want to see properties, then damn it, show them properties. Don't just show them what they can see on their own. What you're going to do is you're going to open up your resources to them and give them the inside scoop. So the psychographic for my avatar are people that want more information about properties than they can get on their own. Does that sound great? And so geographic, where do they meet? I'm meeting them in social media constantly. Instagram, I meet people who are into more imagery. Facebook, I'm meeting people who are just, they want like the social conversation about the property. And Twitter is more about investment and such and such and such. And they just want the brass tacks and the numbers. So it's demographic, who am I talking to? Psychographic, what are they talking about? Geographic, where are they talking about?
And
does that make sense, y'all?
Yeah, absolutely. And that sparked another remembrance on those videos too about why it's so important. It's you're telling a story. Look, people go to social media because they're lazy and bored, right? And Sekou, do you remember who our competition is on social media?
Babies and booties.
Booties and babies. That's what you're competing against, guys. You're not competing against that local realtor down the street. You're competing against Kim Kardashian, who just posted, you know what, all over Instagram. You're posting against my cousin who just had a baby and got 600 likes on a picture, and she has 200 friends. I don't even know how that's freaking possible.
And if Kim Kardashian has a baby, holy crap,
it's over. But here's the thing. When we I see it happen all the time. Here are 3 ways to sell your home faster. You just made me more bored. I'm scrolling so fast away from those videos. I don't know if anybody here has ever went to Facebook to learn about real estate. Right? People in their everyday lives don't go, you know what? I think I'm going to go listen to how to sell a home fast. I think I'm just interested in that for some reason. No. So what happens is when you go on there and you're telling a story about what you went through to sell this property, stories sell. You're letting people know a little bit about your life, but also, tell people how you had to pull over on the side of the road. And all of a sudden it was like the cars were going by me, but I was on the phone making sure this deal got done. I'll tell you what, real estate agents lead an exciting life. And I feel like if we just posted more about it, look, we go to random strangers' houses and walk through them. We go to multiple cities, multiple different places, work from so many different places. And all I ever see is a picture of a house. It's about making it interesting and making it fun. And I'll tell you what, just telling a story about what you actually do. Question here was, do you use a camera or a cell phone? Just use your cell phone. Cell phone. Every phone's got a good camera. You're good to go with just having the cell phone on there. Let's see. What are these questions?
Android all day, baby. Let's go.
I know. We do not recommend Androids on these phones.
You with your toy phones out there.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just throwing this out here. I have no stats to back this up, but when your client sees a green message, I don't know. I don't think they're feeling too good.
I use WhatsApp to talk to my clients, so they're gonna always see a green message.
Guys, what kind of questions you guys have for us? I think we covered a lot of different topics here for you guys. One of the biggest things that I know is really be diligent with your content and repurpose it as much as you can. Every time I shoot a video, I follow up with a phone call. After the phone call, I'm out there doing more. I go back to my real estate activities. And when I'm doing my real estate activities, I do another video. Then I follow up with another phone call. It gives me a reason to reach out. I'm calling because it's one of the best reasons to give somebody a call. Sekou, what do you have to wrap up to these fine people who joined us?
I will tell you this. Reason for calling, just really quickly before I do a quick wrap up, right? Nick, every call I make, I start with, hey, I'm just following up. Hey, just to follow up. I don't care if that's the first time we spoke or the 50th time we spoke. Hey, just following up. Man, the people react to me following up on the next level, man. I'd be, hey, Stephen McCoy. Hey, yeah, man, my name is Sekou. I'm just following up. I noticed that you had a property on the market for sale. Are you the owner? And they pivot towards me like crazy. I don't know why, but they love the follow-up word.
Dude,
in wrapping up, man, I'll say this, that there was a question earlier about what if the brokerage firm that I work for doesn't support me putting stuff on social media, or really has a problem, sort of maintaining and corralling us on social media. I'm gonna say this: meeting Nick and going global, right? So I cannot express to you the reach that your social media provides you, has also expanded the way that I think about this business. So I am a national realtor. I'm an international realtor. I can show rentals in Louisiana as fast as I could show condos in California. I work with other agents in order to build my network. I no longer think about the brokerage anymore, and I now think along the lines of my business. And video, social media, content, and calls has set me free from the confines of the zip codes that I work in. And so if I had to conclude on something, it's this content and calls will allow you to reach so much further than you originally believed you could.
I love
right.
it.
I showed a property in Georgia a week a week ago. And we did this walkthrough. It was impromptu. It was, we were, both of us was sort of ratty looking. Like right now I'm looking ratty. I'm never showing up like this again, by the way. But we both kind of ratty looking. It had 1,200 views. There were 14 offers on that property. People from the Bronx, from my database, was talking to me about how they got in contact with the agent down in Georgia to be a part of that business. And so we probably put together a deal or two in 15 minutes of walking through that property. Cost us no money. And we worked together to make it happen.
I love it. And we had another question. Would we create a video or go live?
Absolutely.
Go live. Hey, when you start making enough, pay someone to repurpose your live video and turn it into a reel. If I have a firm belief, if you have a video editing tool on your phone as a real estate agent, you're doing something wrong.
Yep.
Go live, get out there. You do not get paid to edit videos. Go out there, make calls, make more money, and hire a videographer. That's the right way to do it. You're not videographers, guys. You're real estate agents.
Nick,
Yeah,
to your point, Agents are always asking me, well, what if I go see 3 different properties? It takes me time to get through the properties and things like that. I say, shoot the property, go live, tell them I'm going to the next property, meet me back here in about 15 to 20 minutes, go live again, go to the next property, go live again. You just did 3 lives in a single day. Your algorithm is going to go loopy. It's going to go nuts.
Guys, what I want to say is, Sekou, I want to thank you so much for your time here today. I know you're always adding a lot of value. I've been seeing the chat light up with everything that you're doing. What I want to say, guys, is whoever invited you to this call, make sure you reach out and thank them. Somebody must have invited you to it. Make sure you reach out and thank the person for this. You can also get the recording if you reach out to that individual as well. I want to leave you guys with this. We have a saying here when it comes to content and calling. The difference between a contact and a contract is the letter R, the relationship that you have. If you want to get more contracts, form better relationships. Digital relationships, phone relationships, turn to in-person and much, much more. Guys, thank you so much. Like I said, make sure you reach out to the person who invited you to this. If you want to get the recording. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Later.
Later.